Hi everyone. It was pretty much a do-nothing day for the stock market as it basically just decided to go nowhere overall. The Nasdaq was down 0.13% on volume lower than the day before. The S&P 500 was down 0.13% with volume lower than the day before. And the Russell 2000 was down 0.05% with volume lower the day before. Overall, not much to read into it, so we're not going to really try to do that. The market is healthy overall. There isn't too much to really contemplate about. I see a lot of traders trying to top call or convince us why we should not be long this market as it rallies to new highs. However, I will remind everybody that price is the most important thing and the only thing that is real. Your opinions are not. So I suggest leaving them at the door and letting the actual numbers dictate what you do. And on that end, we got some numbers flashing above that want me to dictate what I do. So we have an ad signal in SCTY. I got one yesterday, but for some odd reason didn't act upon it. Now, small regret, not really. But we get another pocket pivot point signal. The only problem is earnings are next week with this company, but it's an Elon Musk company, so I don't see how it won't do well. But just in case, we need to tread lightly ahead of earnings. That way, I'm only going to put 1% of my account capital into the position once again. If this isn't a viable strategy for you, then don't do it. 5, 10, 20% it if you have a small account. I have a large enough account that 1% with my commission is a worthwhile adventure, I should say. And on that note, also, we have a new long in YY. YY is giving a pocket pivot point signal as it breaks out of this tight consolidation ascending base-like pattern. The only problem is that YY also has earnings next week, so it is also going to be only 1% of the account capital. And then another stock that's only going to get 1% of my account capital in the risk account is ADHD. ADHD is breaking out of an ascending base pattern on very strong volume, has a nice surge in BOP also to max green, and overall just looks very, very, very healthy. Biotech continues to be an extremely hot sector. Its group rank is number 2 overall in this uptrend, so it's hard to argue with a chart like this. However, it is a bit extended on the short term, up 8.5% in one day. So we're going to keep it small. Can't be a 2% position. Like I said, none of these charts tonight, nothing's really that amazing. And the two best charts are in the two highest quality stocks, KB Home Builders. KBH is breaking out of a long ascending like consolidation pattern off the lows, breaking out just above the recent highs of the pocket pivot point signal with an increase in volume off the 200 just right above the 50-day moving average. Overall, the stock looks good to move higher. Earnings and sales growth is extremely solid in this company, so is mutual fund growth. So it doesn't seem like that bad of a trade. Plus, its brother, we're already long, Pulte Homes, PHM. And in the 2 to 3 days since we've gone long, the stock is working true. And also stocks like Ryland showed up, and DHI also showed up today. So even just on lower volume, but the whole real estate sector appears ready to take off again. And then our only other long is a medical stock with decent earnings and sales growth, very consistent the past 8 quarters. VASC, it is throwing off its 4th pocket pivot point signal during the month of February. That's quite a rash of pocket pivot point signals with the relative strength line hitting new highs along with price. Yeah, shouldn't we have bought the stock here and still be long it here? Yeah, it's true, and you could have if you were watching it. Me, I don't buy low volume breakouts, so VASC didn't really become on my radar until about right here, February. And that's whenever I started to notice it, so it's only now on my radar. Today's surge in volume, surge in BOP with the strong money stream, relative strength, TSV, and MACD all going in the right way. With the 50-day moving average close behind is a good signal for me. Once again, if we are wrong, we have our cut loss levels and there's nothing to worry about. Now we do have some sells. KOOL is still fine overall, but it's closing below the low a day of the signal date. So 50% of this one is coming off. Juniper is fine overall, but with it closing below the low a day here of 27.18 and the 20-day moving average, even though overall it's still trending, volume was lower today, BOP increase, I still want to take 20% off just because it should have worked out immediately. It should have worked out immediately. The fact that it didn't work out immediately indicates to me something's wrong. However, something's not wrong enough to want to take off more than 20%. And then also our other cut loss is in Fossil. Fossil, if we would have gotten long right where the long signal was triggered at 116.96, we'd be fine. but the damn thing gapped up to 122 that day, didn't hold the gap. So by default, the next day's low a day for me would have become the first cut loss area. That's 118.63 with a closing at 118.31 on lower volume with an increase in BOP. It is also going to only be a 20% sell. All right, everybody, that's all for Wednesday. Have a great Wednesday.